Hello, everyone. Welcome back to an episode of Breaking the Cycles. I am your host, Tasiyah. This is your co-host, Laziena, my mom.
Laziena, mom.
Today, we are joined with our lovely friend who is a manifestation life coach.
Baddie.
A baddie in the streets, a baddie over on the podcast. This is Star. How are you, Star? Say hello.
I am doing well. It's so good to see you, Tasiyah. Hi, Laziena.
So glad to be here.
When we talked, it was such a wonderful conversation. I felt so connected to you, and I loved some of the stories that you shared about how your journey unfolded, especially where you kind of took a step back to really focus on life and you, and your new adventure, right? In submitting and surrendering to learning about others is how I saw what you shared.
Well, you said the word surrender and the journey, like I feel like life is cycles, right? We go through stages. And one of the cycles that I find myself in repeatedly is that space of surrender. One of my favorite quotes is from Mickey Rooney, "Heroes aren't born, they're cornered." And oftentimes, I see you both nodding your heads, like I can feel it collectively from our audience as well, like, oh yeah. Like, because we do. Like, it's when we're cornered that we really rise to be our own inner heroine. And it's when we're super comfortable and like everything is cruisy that we don't necessarily, we have to do work to reach, to touch,
Mhm.
to feel, to bring her along with us. Like, hey, remember we need to be a hero, a heroine all the time, not just when we're cornered. But I recently went through one of those spaces of just complete and utter surrender to the journey, to the process, to allowing it to be whatever it was going to be like. And I do think that it's one of those things that just keeps showing up and allowing me to be, I don't want to say tested, but allowing me to be in it. Like there's just no, sometimes there really is no avoiding it. There's no tools that we're going to throw at it that is gonna just make it disappear or all better, right? Like,
I feel like I got to the point where life was throwing it felt like this was happening to me, and I would consider that now a victim mindset. But when I'm going through the victim mindset, it doesn't feel like a victim mindset. It feels like it's heavy and I'm alone and there's nothing that's going to make this better. And it's like it sucks and no one's going to understand me. Everybody else has it better. I'm the only one that's going through this particular thing. And once I learned to what truly surrendering meant, and like you were saying, you're observing it, you're looking at it from a different perspective, the surrendering process started to look a little bit better. There's a word that I'm trying to find right now. I had it in my head and I lost track of it. But it's along the lines of when when we are tested, what is the most loving way we can look at that? And the universal law of one, right? What would love do is what comes in. So it reminds me that that is my capacity to love. It's my reaching closer to my soul. It's me stretching in deeper into the connection of my true self. What love really means to me from the depths of my inner being. And unfortunately, this was the only way to get it. It was to face something difficult. So can you tell us a little bit about, what the struggle felt like? Was it agony? Was it sorrow? Whatever words you can use to describe how how your fall, so to speak, led you to rise.
how did it feel? I mean, it just felt anytime that I've been in it, and there have
Mhm.
been various stages of being in it. And when I say in it, I mean not really understanding, uh, not having any clear path or any, how do I say, like there's no, like I said, we know all the tools. and we throw the tools at it, but none of them are working. And we just feel like we're stuck. Okay. So when I say being in it, the visceral, the way that it feels in my body, it might feel like there's tar on my insides. It just feels like I'm heavy, gloggy, like just really clouded, um, unclear. I just want to paint the picture when I say in it, like this is where we're at, right? Like the joy in the mud and in the mud, Laziena, and not really feeling like I can be clear of it. And not really feeling like I even want goals. Like the goal is to shake it off. The goal is to break free of it. The goal is to just get out of it and feel something other than it, right? So how I felt in it, it just stuck, trapped, confined. And it really like uh helpless, hopeless.
I'm going from this side of the mud to the other side of
Yeah.
the mud, and then I'm coming back again. I'm just taking mud from one side and putting in the other, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is life. This is how life is supposed to be.
Yeah. And you know how when you're walking through the mud and you start to collect more and more mud as you're going in the bottom of your feet, is just like that's how it feels like when you're going through it. You're like, not only am I traversing through the mud, but I'm collecting more along the way. Like there's no it feels heavier with every step. Yeah.
See, for you've had like some episodes where and I have too, right? Where depression takes over
Oh,
so
yeah.
much. Is something like what when you were in that space, what could somebody have even told you that would make any sense that would make you want to come out of it?
Honestly, there was nothing. Nobody could have, like, when I was in my depressive episode, I was straight up in my most victimist state. So in that moment, there wasn't really anybody who could like relate to me or I'd feel like I have a connection with because I was when I go into my depressive episodes, I isolate myself. So I'm sabotaging all of my relationships. I'm nowhere near the mental capacity to be around other people or to even like take in and receive from anyone. It wasn't until I did the course was where I like actually understood what my self-sabotage was, that I wasn't really depressed. I had something that I needed to tap into, give feeling to, heal,
Mm.
reparent, and like actually move forward with it.
Yeah.
But it took me forever to figure what that was entirely was out. I went over 20 years of just feeling, oh, well, this is just how life is supposed to be. I'm supposed to work my ass off. I'm supposed to continuously like drain myself. I'm supposed to give so much more to other people because I'm here. In my mind back then, I was like, in my mind, it was, I have to be everyone's savior. So if I wasn't a savior, I wasn't a good enough person. So my
Mm.
worth, my self image, like empowerment, everything, like when I go on my depressive episodes, it's completely, I'm not the same person I am right now.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Star, please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I want to
Yeah.
hear.
No.
It's just like that mud sitting made me think of like when I would try to reach Tasiyah and how it felt, and then how it felt for me because it did feel hopeless too. It's like I am trying to connect with my child. I'm trying to connect to let her
Yeah.
know that she's not alone, but there was only so much I could do.
Yeah. And I think that that's a really important conversation and important for people to hear, like as a parent, because it's so hard. Talk about surrender.
Yeah.
Like here you had the skills and the tools and you were throwing them. I'm guessing that you were probably presenting them on a silver platter. Like here, this is it. So what was the moment? Do you have a moment that it did really shift for you,
For me or Tasiyah?
Lucia?
Oh, it was the understanding that I can validate the experience of what I'm feeling without blaming the other, like blaming the person that like. So, for example, like one of the biggest things is that as children, we're kind of taught to protect our parents, or I was taught to protect my parents. So for me to be depressed, it was that I didn't feel like my voice and my experience mattered. So if my voice and my experience doesn't matter, then nothing matters. So by having the realization that I can be angry at mom, I can be angry at dad, work through the anger, come to forgiveness and a more compassionate lens, it was honestly me doing my 70 by 7 was my forgiveness. I did like when I tapped into processing what my anger was, it allowed me to go into understanding that like I have resentment and that resentment needed to be worked on. And the resentment was actually me carrying shame and blame for my childhood. So me doing forgiveness was the curving point of understanding where my depression or where the idea of going through it stemmed from.
I think that you really touch on something so powerful, and that is compassion. Because you right, like when I'm in the victim state, there is zero compassion for somebody else's space or the way they're showing up in my space. It is all about the should of what they should be doing for me or how they should be showing up for me. But when I can drop into a space of compassion, who does that just really ground me, right? That their own humanity. I don't know how much we talked about when we first chatted, um, about my experience with driving for rideshare. Did we talk
A
about
little
this?
bit, but I definitely want you to go more into that for sure.
Yeah. So I have a belief that when we elevate compassion in the world, oh, and the way that we elevate compassion in the world is by knowing one another's stories
Yes.
and connecting through our stories. And when I share my story about going low and you can feel the mud and you can feel the muck with me and you're in it with me, then I touch a part and a piece of your humanity. And
Mhm.
there's a shared connection of that humanity, but there's also a very organic compassion that is elevated. And when we have compassion, then we also can't simultaneously hold the space for hatred
Mhm.
Yeah.
or that anger dissipates, it softens when we can have compassion. And driving for rideshare was quite a miraculous experience for me. I did not set out for some big human experience about humanity. I set out I put down my coaching practice because I felt the privilege of it and I didn't know how to wrestle with that. And I didn't really have a backup plan when I put it down. And I got into my car thinking that I was just earning extra money. And what I found was a wide spectrum of humanity that I personally, my soul needed. I needed to be in touch with people that I live in a pretty homogenous community. I live out in the burbs. Like I, I can insert myself into cultural and experiences that will bring me to, right, a more diverse population. But nothing prepared me for what would get into my car and the stories of the people. Because you know the phenomenon of sitting next to someone on a plane or on a bus or on a train,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And just the the inhibition to be able to just share a bit of your soul. And that's what I got to experience with almost every passenger.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. You know, what you're reflecting back to me is so beautiful because I am a huge fan of the saying, we can only meet people as deeply as you have met yourself.
Ooh.
And
Oh, that is beautiful.
yeah, and Gary Zukav, I love him. He wrote The Seed of the Soul. And the way he describes it is that we have our personality and then we have our soul. Our personality is like fragments of our personality that hasn't been merged with our soul. And love and compassion are some of the emotions that you can only experience from the soul.
Mm,
And so when the saying goes, you can only meet people as deeply as you've met yourself, to me, that means that I have sat with myself in the depths of my shame and looked at myself with compassion and said, like, you know what? I'm really sorry that you went through this. And I know that this is shameful. And I know that you have taken accountability and the remorse and the regret that comes from it. All we can do is rise up together and make something out of this. So when I meet someone who has gone through agony, or the depths of resentment, and they were so out of integrity with themselves and the journey it took for them to rise above that,
Mm,
I can't hold anger towards them or judgment or shame, because
mhm,
that's the parts of me that I forgave. So me looking at that, and that especially if it's in their past and they're going through it, I can't help but offer compassion.
yep,
Now, sometimes I have to be careful, because is compassion what they need, for their growth? Am I like, stopping them from allowing their feelings to teach them the same lessons that I've learned?
sure.
But in the sense of, like, how you were saying with the ride share, every person that entered your car, your soul experienced a little bit of their soul, because you've met those parts of you. At least
Mm.
that's how I took in how you were explaining your ride share
Oh,
experience.
I really love that reflection. I really do. Because the experience made me fall in love with humanity in a way that that I didn't know I needed and that I didn't know was possible. I can feel the emotion welling. I'm going to try to keep it down so I can be present to you. Um, but what I just heard you say and what really is feeling, I'm receiving it and I thank you, is that beautiful thread of humanity that I see in other people is also a part of me. And that has been part of me. I'm a life coach and I have been for 16 years, but I have been an optimist my whole life. And that was a survival skill. We were broken down on the side of the road again, and I was 5 years old. And I said, Mom, it's okay. We'll laugh about this later. So it has just been a part of who I am to see the best. And there are times when that's really hard because it will mean that I'm not prepared to see the shadow, that I'm not prepared and I'm gaslighting my own self, right? Like, this isn't about other people. They'll do that too. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's a part of our humanity as well. Um, and the space that I'm currently in, I told you I'm kind of going through, or I went through a recent surrender. And part of that space is just the lack of tolerance I have right now for any BS. And that's especially my own. Like, I really want to be clear. This isn't about other people and pointing the finger and wagging it at them. Like, this really is about my own. Like, I don't have tolerance for it anymore. For the hiding, for the avoiding. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, because whenever I'm around people nowadays, right? It's it's not that people are being inauthentic. They're being exactly who they are for the journey. But sometimes it's like, I know that what you're feeling is hurt. I know what you're feeling is betrayal. I know what you're feeling is dismissal, like unimportant, unworthiness. And it's there, it's coming out in your body language, it's coming out in your words, it's how your eyes are looking, but you're not saying the words. The words you're saying is that everything's fine, everything's okay. And it's not. And I want to meet you there. I want to meet you in the spot where it's not, because that's where the real connection for us is. That's where the real beauty of us being in relationship is.
Yeah.
But I can't get to you anymore, or I can't reach you, because there's so much that's covering that. And so, in order for me to be in relationship with you, and relationship as in friendship, any kind of ships, right? It's like I have to sit here and be compassionate, or maybe you need the truth. like which one is the one to deal with, but more so, how am I handling it, right? How am I taking this in and how am I outputting it?
So I am this is this is the space you're finding me in, like, legitimately, this is the space. And the question I have, and this is a question for all of us, okay? The question I have is, what does it take for us to be in relationship where we can reflect that level of truth to one another? Because the truth is, I don't want to be on anybody's pedestal. And I don't want to be that glorified Star Staubach and she's this and that. And like, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no.
Nope.
Like, to me, to say, reflect back to me the truth of the blind spots that I'm not seeing.
Yeah.
And so w- I hear you saying that there are times when we see someone else because it's easier to see someone else. And so a couple of things, and this is just coming up for me, right? Like, I want to write it down. Processing out loud, like a couple of things. And that is, if we've all heard it, the golden shadow and the shadow, when we see it in somebody else, that's my work to do, right? Like, that's real. When I'm seeing
I
it in
see
someone
in you, I
else,
see in me.
yes, I get to pause. That's right. To see it, like, I get to pause and ask myself, okay, Star, like, I don't know if I told you the first time I ever did a podcast, I started the podcast as a life coach to have other people coach me because I kept having professionals come across my path who weren't walking their talk. The morbidly obese dietitian that I'm like, dude, you got medicine and you're not using your own voice for yourself, like your work, right? And the relationship coach that was single and divorced, and I just was like, like it. I don't have judgment around it. It just made me reflect, like, hey, Star, where is your stuff that you're supporting other people to see and that you're not facing for yourself? And I want to ask myself first, have I done that work to notice my own shadow when I'm observing something in someone else that is triggering? And then, two, what am I doing in my relationships to set up that level of trust and permission to really reflect with me and to hold that space with me when I need it?
This is gonna backtrack a little bit because we like got sidetracked on the whole conversation. But when you brought up the memory of, I think you said you were 5,
Mm-hmm.
and you looked at your mom and you said, "We'll laugh about this someday." It reminded me of when you told me, when you made your decision on like you had enough of your first marriage, and it was when I was 5. I put my hand on her face and I said that it's gonna be okay, and it was like some crazy thing that my biological father did, and that like she made the decision on she was done with it. And when I didn't realize it, well, I did realize it, but like I think I was kind of reminded in the moment that from when I was a kid, I was used to being like the emotional teddy bear. Like I would get exposed to all of the feelings and feelings that are adult feelings and other child feelings, because when it's your parents, people are really their own hurt children. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever age that you've been hurt at, you carry it for the rest of your life. So I was used to caretaking like my mom and my dad. Was used to caretaking everybody around me because I knew that there's all these emotions that's out there, but I didn't even know my own. When I think about like professionals who are in their jobs, they choose the things for a certain reason, and that's how the universe works. We align with what we need to work on and what generational trauma that we need to break. So my heart always goes for compassion because I have friends who are studying for their degree. But then I also get to see that they have these deep rooted traumas that they don't want to face, or it's just too scary to face. And then when I think about myself when I was in my state of unawareness, I didn't want to face them. I wanted to stay stuck in the muck. It felt comfortable to stay with what was familiar. So I think it's like it's always really like fascinating when I see other people who are in the work, who live and embody the work, because you gave yourself you faced your scariest fear, and that was yourself.
Yeah.
So,
And oh,
oh, sorry.
I think Star was gonna say something.
No, I just like I felt that. Like I felt that. I just want to acknowledge like I felt the real truth of you faced your scariest thing and that is yourself. Like that and that reality just dropped in like yeah, no that is real. Like I am the scariest. Yeah.
I like what Tasia too is like I see her as the embodiment of compassion. Because even as a child, and again, in most of the work that we do, and one of the reasons why I wrote the relationship repair language is because there's so many layers into repairing with someone that I can't just go to Tasia and be like, okay, tell me what happened, and I may be validated, but then that's it. I also need to know what she needs from me. What kind of accountability what does she need to hear from me? So this isn't something that we move on to again. So as I look at her life in admiration, it's like she was little and she was able to offer that compassionate approach to life. And now as the woman that she is, she truly embodies compassion. So it was beautiful to see her life as a journey and her taking the best parts of it and embracing it and making that her identity, not the other parts that she wasn't willing to face. She
Yeah.
faced them, and in facing them in every step of the way, she was able to bring herself out stronger and more aligned with who she truly is. And I also had this thing that I read where it says he is when I feel sorry for what you're going through. Empathy is that I can put myself in your shoe and understand how difficult that is. But compassion is I can put myself in your shoe and understand how that is, but I also want to do something about it.
Mhm.
And most of the time, we don't make um, that trip over to the compassion and stay in empathy, and we mistake that for compassion. So, agreeing with you in a lot of what you're saying about meeting other people who are in their field, and sometimes when I'm talking to you, I want to be in this deep connection because I want to know what is it that I can gain, what lesson you're meant to teach me, because you are a soul in a person whose life has has a meaning that I can benefit from, that I need. You're finding me for a reason, and I'm finding you for that reason. So what we have is something that can be exchanged between us, right? But if you are, no, I'm sorry, I would be doing you a disservice if you come to me in one of your deepest, most vulnerable state, and I listen to you with the ear of a coach, and I give you advice with the ear of a coach, because now I remove that equality that we had. And I'm now putting you as somebody that I need to help rather than being in relationship with you. And you're absolutely right. That is what I find with a lot of people that are in their professional world, the profession of it, that it's very difficult to connect heart to heart.
And I mean that some of that's just ego, right? Like the ego of I wanna prove myself to who? Like, who are you really trying to prove? Like, usually it's, like, if I'm in that space, usually it's me. Like,
Yeah.
really, let's drop it in, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also, it's
Yeah.
like, it's even though some of us have had ego death experiences and we know better, and this is just how our framework works, and this is how we work for connection, we still have to be able to put ourselves in the position to be in relationship with others, because in relationship with others there's no superiority and inferiority. It's equal playing field. and that ego, when it says, I want to be noticed and I want to be recognized, then I will allow you the space to be known and recognized. I will also take the hit where it says I'm projecting onto you or I'm reflecting something that you think I need help with. That's okay. I'll give you the chance to get to know me, and then maybe we can, that door. I don't put the I don't and what I'm trying to say is I don't use a boundary as a wall. The boundary is a bridge. Okay, let's hold off on this for a second. Let's get to know each other, and then we can revisit what comes naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
love that,
also
that the boundary is the bridge, not a
Mhm.
wall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah. Because oftentimes when people go on I'm sorry, no, you want to say
good.
something? When people go on a personal development journey, there's like shame based motivation that they output there too. When I receive shame based motivation, and to me that doesn't allow me to feel met or seen or valued or respected, because now you're looking down on me, and I don't like how that feels. I never like how it feels. So now I have to decide, what do I need to do for myself? And am I going to, okay, boundaries is great, but how many people are using those boundaries to be like, okay, I don't want you to treat me this way. You are treating me this way. When you're using blame language with boundaries, it's a wall. It's not
Right.
inviting. What were you
Yeah.
contributing?
I was gonna say, like, so rideshare was the experience of like becoming more compassionate, and like, so as far as for Star's perspective and the one circling back to what we were talking to,
Mm-hmm.
and like for me, it was like I've always done caregiving, like my whole career since I was like 16, 17. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
technically since I was 5. But I mean, sorry, dark humor. But like especially with the clients that I've been like I do senior care and disabled care. So I cover a vast like wavelength of clients. My youngest client is 18, my oldest one is 98. So I see so many different ages, I see so many families. I literally like to even be a CNA or even a nurse in a nursing type position, we receive the most horrendous experiences, but we also have the most, not have the most, but like we have to have compassion towards the families because
Yeah.
like these are families who are seeing their loved ones age into a completely different world. Or you see the families that give up on the disabled ones. You see them have no sort of help, no sort of like compassion or anything like that. Or you see the old little lady who really just wanted to be heard and just wants to have fun, but because she has dementia, she gets treated like crap.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different ages that I've helped, so many, and I had to take, so my name means comforting friend. And I used to make that my entire identity because for me, my name is my identity. So I had to make the difference of like separating that the people pleasing part of caring for somebody and being the comforting friend doesn't come from me needing validation or doesn't need to come from me wanting to help the other person's feelings, but it comes from being able to understand the other person, being able to read their heart, read their thoughts, read their body language to know how to insert myself in connection. Because at the end of the day, we all want connection. We want
Mm-hmm.
to love and to be loved. So, in
Yes.
order to love and to be loved, like compassion is one of the biggest things. However, you can't get to compassion until you've had the compassion to yourself.
Yes.
Like I've sit this weekend we had it was such a big weekend. Like, did we even mention that we went to Rio this weekend on the recording yet?
I don't think,
Okay,
kind of, maybe.
maybe. So, for the people in the audience, we went to Rio again this weekend and it was the most beautiful it was a heavy weekend, but because it was like I want to say a room full of sadness, but it was a room full of people who just wanted to be held.
Mm.
Mhm.
And I'm a part of a different aspect. And to those who know me, music is the biggest thing for me. Music is the way that I spread my love into other people, but also I get to listen to souls pour their heart and pour their emotions into songs. So music is such a really big important thing for me to be able to help somebody get into the depths of their sadness. Well, your phone, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
My phone is choosing the wrong time to ring, and it's all the way across the room. So I don't want to
Hey,
get.
it's great. It's great.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see who it is, though. It's going to be wonderful. I have a feeling it's just the school, the automated school message.
Oh yeah, it's about that time. I really enjoy being able to get people to tap into the emotions that I know they need to tap into.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come as a ego thing for me. It comes at I know what it's like to be trapped and not feeling the emotions that need to be felt.
And, that's the space, right? Like, that's the space. It's so hard when you're in it, and no one can tell you that you're going to leverage what it is that you're experiencing. And I don't love that whole like, um, you're going to learn something from this and you're taking, right? Like you're gaining wisdom from it. And yet, like, I would never ask anyone to experience my childhood. I don't want my kids to have to go through that. And at the same time, and in the same breath, like I have so much gratitude for what it is that I experienced and
Mhm.
for who it has made me today. I wouldn't be the same woman and have the same life experiences and awareness. I'm excited. I'm excited that I get to pass that on in a different way to my children, right? That I get to pass it on from a more healed capacity rather than a space that they need to heal and come from. And
That is the biggest gift to be able to give to your children. And that is coming from my mom doing the same thing. Like
I was just about to address that. Yeah, I'm glad you called it too. Yeah.
like that is the
Yeah.
biggest thing when you can have a parent that realizes, okay, I've had a childhood. I need to figure out what my emotional needs are. That's the biggest blessing because it's the only thing you can teach your kids, and that's what your kids will teach their kids. And it's not even teaching their kids; they teach it to all their friends. That it's sending a whole new sense of
A
healing,
ripple.
a ripple to everyone around them. And it's just like from a daughter to a mother, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you,
Oh,
thank you for choosing
just
yours.
you. Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for saying that.
It really is such a difference, and I wish that people could. And when I say people, I know I was that person too, so I'm not taking myself out of it. There's a side of life that just doesn't seem like there's anything else, and you're just in survival. And I was just getting by, and I was positive, and I did my best. And that's all I knew. Like, okay, that's just how this person is. That's just how that person is. I'm the one who needs to work on myself, or whatever the case, or whatever was happening is heavy, but it's okay. But even when I was happy, I was saying that I was happy and felt happy. It's not like I didn't, and I felt gratitude. But there is another side of it, because awareness is one thing. Understanding, okay, this is how I am. I get upset because I don't feel heard. When I don't feel heard, it's really my inner child who never got a chance to speak up. I
Mhm.
never really got that energy released to her mom or her dad in that one moment of resentment that took over my entire life and then became my behavior. And it's how I push people away. It's how I show up at work. It's how I show up in
Mhm.
friendship. It's how I show up with romantic partners. It's how I show up as a mother. All these different aspects of it, right? So I didn't know all, like, okay, I have the awareness of all that, but it was when I went to heal it. There's a when we say feel your feelings, it's not just like, okay, well, I'm feeling my feelings, I'm angry, I'm sad. It's no, it's going to that feeling and talking to it, let it feel the sadness out, but where did it come from? What do you need in that moment? What is a repair that's needed? I needed to go back to little version of me and hold my own hand and say, I got you. I'm here for you. I understand that in this moment, no one showed up for you, and it's not, and we understand that it's not their fault and everybody has their way of doing things. But I know that you felt alone and you felt sad, and I got you. That is the feeling you're feeling. And there is something on the other side of that that cannot be explained in words. You can only experience it.
I trying to figure out how much of this I want to share. I just was really present
Hmm.
to to a difficult situation that a friend is facing. And I told you, like, there's this surrender, right? Like, I had to surrender that I could be present to her, that I could hold the space, that I could trust our friendship because it was really hard to come with what I was witnessing and to reflect that back. It was a mirror of what I witnessed as a child.
Mm.
And little Star was there. When I was little, we lived in Guatemala uh, during Guatemala's worst year in history. There was a civil war going on at the time. It's wild. Um, and and my name there was Estrellita, which means little star. And so when I touch in with my little self, it's Estrellita today. And Estrellita was with me through that whole experience with my friend. And speaking directly to what you just shared, Laziena, that, I knew she was there. 49-year-old Star was present and the adult and driving the show, right? Like, I was making these choices. It wasn't from fear. I wasn't hiding. I wasn't feeling shame. Didn't feel, I felt the fear and the hesitancy and the desire to maybe withdraw, but I pushed through and was present to it. And it was a really, really beautiful experience.
I know what you mean. I hear you. I see you. I know you. Those are not easy words. Those are powerful. That's a whole experience. Oh my God, girl.
Like, literally, that was yesterday. And I got the call right before I got on with you. I got the call from my friend just saying, thank you and grateful. I'm just so grateful for all of it. I'm so grateful for Esreita. I'm so grateful for having witnessed, right? Like, the result of not saying something, right? The result of observing and watching harm. Like, and I'm so grateful for the work between then and now, right? And I'm so grateful for the strength and the surrender and the courage to just continue to show up. Yeah. And I told her I was jumping on this podcast, and she was just like, oh my God, thank you so much for telling me. That is just so amazing. It was, yeah, I was so grateful.
That you just explained that saying, you can only meet people as deeply as you met yourself, and you met her. You truly met her in her mud, and you had the capacity to not only witness her, yourself, the entire thing. It's kind of like what we were part of this weekend. It was 13, holding that kind of space for 13 people and more, because we were all there for each other while honoring our own growth and journey. That's powerful, Star. That's, whoo, girl. Mm,
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
even
here for
use
it. And
words.
I'm here to be present with other people who are here for it, right? Like, and how we started the conversation earlier, like, I want that same stuff for myself. Like, I want that same level of courage. I
Mhm.
want that same level of raw truth. Like, hold it up for me. I want that
Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah. It's beautiful to see you. I'm thankful that I know you.
Mm.
Because that experience that you just described, I, it's a really sacred place to share with someone. because no matter what that your friend is going through, I'm sure she doesn't need advice or anything like that right now. Just to know that, that literally you defined sitting in the mud with somebody. You just did. Oh my God.
Have you ever seen um What Dreams May Come with Cuba Gooding
Yes.
Jr.?
Oh my God.
Right? That moment. The moment. You know what? I know you know the one I'm talking about. Where he just really gets in it with her and he's really present to her.
So sacred. Like we did. It's not easy for someone to share that, like at all. That is not an easy space to share. And I'm kudos to your friend for trusting you,
Yeah.
for to open up her layers like that. It takes a lot of courage. Um, it takes a lot of courage to do that, to like bare your soul to someone. I find that there are times, I want that too. I want to be able, as much as I have awareness and healing and I understand what it's like to be on the other side of the journey, I want to have the friends that will also meet me in that space. It's just Laziena, being Laziena, feeling hurt today. And maybe I didn't know how to name something that I was feeling yesterday, but you sitting in the mud and sharing your similar experience or what you were going through and reflecting that back to me, it gave me the word that I needed. It didn't make me feel that I needed to be analyzed or judged or, oh, you're just not seeing it that way. You have to look at it differently, right? Because we know how true manifestation and all of that works. It doesn't just, you don't just think positively. You do
You
have
have
to,
to embody it.
yeah, you have to
That's
embrace the negative. You have to face that
yeah,
wall that's there or that sadness that's there because that truly is it, is
that's
facing
right.
it.
That's right. And it'll be blocked repeatedly over and over and over. And then we'll internalize and wonder why. What's wrong with me? Why can't I? Everybody else has. I don't have. Right. And
Mhm.
it just is a vicious cycle. And I get deeply passionate about that too. Like being so triggered by also the block of looking at somebody else's manifestation and thinking that that's where I should be. Like, no, absolutely not. Mine is different, and my job and our job is to know what is ours.
Yeah.
Because when I know what is mine, I can be really clear and I can anchor into that. I can deepen that. And I'm not hooked and triggered by, and then feeling shame by not reaching Oprah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that, it's not to say that Oprah's not obtainable. That's not what I mean by that
I
message.
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, mine, Star Staubach is different.
Yeah.
It is not different in the way of a hierarchy.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is
No.
different.
Hmm. That's so true. And when it comes to, a lot of things that I've learned too in this journey, a lot of people will have so much opinions on how you should do things or what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And most of that comes from their own fear and their own in external judgment. So when I take on somebody else's external judgment, I'm not manifesting my dreams. I'm not living my dreams. I'm trying to live up to someone else's expectation. But how many people, right? There's a process to becoming the New York bestseller. There's a process to becoming having the number one podcast. And most of the time it's somebody giving themselves flowers and then thanking someone else for giving them flowers. And so I said to a friend of mine, like, I really like Mel Robbins and I think that she's got a good way of reaching her audience and with her gifts, right? And they were like, "Oh, you'll never be Mel Robbins." I'm like,
That wasn't the point. You didn't. I don't want to be Mel Robbins.
That's
I wanted
exactly right.
to be Lazina. I'm just
That's
using like,
exactly
I'm like, hey, I was looking at her funnel. And
that, that's it. That's it.
I was just looking at her funnel. Like I
Yes. Yes.
wasn't trying to be her, But and I think I mentioned this a little bit with when we first spoke that after everything happened with my family, I was looking for other women who were going through the same thing and there was so much fear. And I found, like, women were hiding, and I understand why, because of shame. And that's when the law of, like, vibration really made sense to me, because now that I'm in this position where I'm looking for other people like myself, I'm seeing a lot of them. And if I stayed in that vibration of just looking, I wasn't finding anybody. So I needed to start to elevate myself. Like, okay, if I can't find them, I'm going to become them. And the more I start to change my mindset and operate more on even if I'm feeling sad, and this is another thing, like, we can feel sad and still be happy. Like, whenever my sadness come on, I'm glad that I feel the sadness, because I want to know what's underneath it. It's my needs. It's something that I need, and it's something that my human need for this spiritual journey, this
It's
human
kind of funny. Every
experience.
time somebody says I need to cry, I'm always like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
She'll tell me, oh, I cried today. I'm like, oh, yay. What did you
Yeah.
cry about? Like,
Yeah. Because in that cry, I've gotten clarity, I've gotten release. I use this analogy that I'm like the sky. I'm always there. Like, the sky is endless, right? And my emotions are like the clouds. Sometimes it's fluffy, sometimes it's like a candy cane, and it's just, and sometimes it's heavy, and it's stormy, and it needs to pass. So I'm not becoming the feelings, I'm observing them, I'm releasing them, I'm letting them give me the meaning that they need to, so that way I can, like, I can get myself out of the low vibrations into the high vibration. And I can be in low and high vibration at the same time. I'm still excited that I'm mad. I'm still excited that I'm sad. I'm still grateful. It's just a moment that I need a lesson. And I don't like when people try to tell me what the lesson is without talking to me and understanding me, because the lesson has to come from me. It may be obvious to you, but unless I actually experience it, I'm robbed of that opportunity. So, it's also great to be mindful and careful of other people's journey and how I impact them. So it's not up to me to change their state of being. It's up to me to sit there with them and be a friend.
also, just to, sorry,
No,
there
please.
was, anyways, I don't know why I'm apologizing. Um, One of the things that this course that we go to has like really taught me was how to hold space for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It was how to literally sit there and let this person just be who they are, and to meet them at exactly where they're at. Every person you come across, or I come across, we're all going to be in different stages of healing, different stages of life. And being able to compassionately hold the space for, I may not agree with half the spaces people are in, but that's just because I know that, like, that person, it's not to know that they can do more work, it's that their truest form of themselves hasn't come out yet. Stop
Yeah,
biting your
I
nails.
know. I got it.
Yeah, it's so true, which makes me question what's the truest part of myself that I haven't let come out yet? Like, this is what I have been sitting with all day, right? As I held that same space and that mirror for my friend. It's like I keep going back to what's the work there for me? And I said to you earlier that the work has been to stop hiding. I had something on my to-do list that felt really hard, and it has been on my to-do list since April.
Mm.
And this morning I got it done before 10:30.
Look at you. Look at that.
Hey, look at you.
But that is
Congratulations.
all in honor of, truly, like, that is in honor of my friend and that reflection and me sitting with, okay, well, shoot, Star, like, what's your step? Like, what is it? Where are you hiding? Where are you not showing up or being afraid or letting things hold you back or whatever it is, right? Like, in that, like, I'm making the commitment to myself
Yeah.
to
I'm
see
always
it.
interested to see, like, myself in different lens too, like, I want to know what areas more, what else more stretch do I need, there's I feel the sense of I'm on the path and I'm doing the things that I need to do and I'm excited for where I am. And I love being in deep conversations, these kinds of conversation. My core human need is quality time, and quality time for me means feeling belong, part of a community, like having connection. So doing podcasting and connecting with other people and seeing their beauty, like what they are, like what a life lesson has given their soul's journey, their soul note, those are all beautiful things to witness. And I love the aspect of what I see in you that I see in me. Cause then it's us now. It's not one above the other. It's not you or me. We're together now. We're doing it together. Yeah. Do you have anything?
Think so.
Yeah.
I'm kind of running dry on this
We're just
podcast.
tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are you?
this episode has had like a lot of good content. I'm in love going back and listening to this episode.
Yeah.
This is a good episode.
Star, is there anything that any special message that you would like for the audience to know?
I just really, I guess I keep that theme just keeps coming up, right? It feels like the unspoken theme of our conversation today, and that is just observing in others what might be true for us. And I do feel compelled to leave that work on the table, if you will, for our listeners with a very gentle invitation um, to pick it up, and to just let it sit with us and in our hearts and not so much in our minds. Like, because that stuff can get just really tangled, right? Like, if we spend too much time ruminating over it, but just allowing that question to sit on our hearts, like, what is it that I'm noticing in other people that might be mine? And that is true for the golden shadow as well. And I just want to reflect that back to the two of you, that what I see is just two incredibly courageous women who are opening their hearts and their minds to a conversation, to a connection, through and beyond the airwaves across the world, and inviting other people to just hold the space and be in it, in the mess and in the beauty, and for the courage of navigating all of the intricacies behind the scenes and figuring all of those pieces out. And I just really want to honor all the work that you're doing to be able to bring and elevate that message to the world.
I
And
feel
thank
so seen.
yeah, thank
Thank-
you.
I receive it. I'm allowing it. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
That was when we started this podcast back when, oh my gosh, 2019, 2018, one of those years. The whole message was to find people who are like-minded and to tell people that it doesn't end. There's always the other side. You can break the cycle. It just takes a day at a time, a moment in time, and a person at a time.
And the right people to hold space. Thank you, Star. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, hey, you're welcome. And you asked if there was any one thing, and I would love to give. I have a 21 days of badass manifestation, and it is an online daily. We sit in a space of just really anchoring the practice. And if it serves you or your audience, I would love to give 3 free days for that.
Okay.
So,
Wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
yeah,
Where
yeah.
can not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Where can our people or anyone who's interested in getting connected with you can find you?
My website is badassmanifestation.com. It's just that.
Okay.
And typically, if you find that, then you can find me in other channels. And yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for the offer. I'm sure
Thank
there's
you.
yeah.
I
I
will
will
most likely. Stick
Yeah.
upon
I love it. I expect it. Let's go. Let's go. It's never a sales thing. Like this is just presence, right?
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
just am really, I am slightly addicted to the space of being present, and to the space of holding possibility and the expansion of, right? Because it's not here. Like we get stuck here. But just to open people up to what is really possible is just such an addicting space to be in.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way about my repair language. It's like, why wouldn't you want to strengthen your relationship with yourself and others and be in better connection with the people that you really love and care about instead
Yeah.
of, all the disconnection that's happening. And it really is just sitting down and having an authentic conversation. It all starts with an authentic conversation.
I love that. And it drops us back into the very start of our conversation and those connections, like in that story, that being seen and feeling seen and touching one another's humanity. You do such big work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
see. I before we end this episode, I want you to know one of my beliefs is that when someone is on the other side of the journey, they spend a lot of nights alone, crying, feeling lost, hopeless. There was nobody else there, even though that there were people in those nights when I envisioned something like the movie Saw, and they're in the bathroom and they're just laying there and there's just nothing and there's just nothing and it's emptiness and the wailing of the cry and it just feels like this pull in your heart just coming down. No, those are the moments that really truly make somebody. And what they do with it shows when we're having these conversations with you. And I can feel it. I can see it. I can feel it. I know the moments that you're talking about. And so for you to get there meant that you had to overcome a lot of things and face a lot of truths that you may have wanted to, but it didn't mean that it was pleasant and didn't mean that it was easy. It was hard. And I want to acknowledge that journey and acknowledge your heart space and little star.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for sharing her with us.
And I thank you so much for sharing that and for seeing me and for holding this space. And I just want to reach the listener who still feels alone in that bathtub. And I just want to acknowledge her, her heroine, and her showing up on a podcast to share her story that she may not be ready for yet. But I just want to acknowledge that she is in there and we know it and we see her. Yeah.
On that
And
note,
yes,
I
yes.
feel that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I heard and felt and saw as you were saying that. Mhm. Yeah. She's listening. And I can't wait for her to reach out. One day she'll be ready.
And
Mhm.
when she is, we'll all be here for her. Yep.
Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you so much, ladies.
thank you for coming on to this episode. This was a very warm
Mhm.
and soft and gentle and loving episode. I am this was a great episode.
Yes.
Yeah, you did it. You created it. And thank you. Mhm.
Anything else that we want to close off with or anything?
Just you know how to find us. You know what our hearts want for you. And any of us here can hold that space. And Star, it's really beautiful to see your journey. And thank you for sharing your light. Continue to be the lighthouse. I know you're not going to stop, but if there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here. Tasiyah's here. I'm volunteering her.
I wasn't a volunteer. I was going to say the same thing.
Thank you. Likewise, both of you. Likewise.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning into another episode of Breaking the Cycles. We will see you on the next one.